As everyone knows, strange figures appear in human culture far more often than we would like to admit. Some of them are blue, cheerful, almost festive, appearing predictably every winter when calendars turn and celebrations begin. We laugh at them. We recognize instantly they belong to tradition, but green figures are different. Green figures never arrive on schedule. They do not come with music or bells. They appear quietly, inconsistently, and often without witnesses agreeing on what they actually saw. Sometimes people swear they saw something clearly. Sometimes the same people later begin to doubt themselves. And almost always, discussions follow. Elements. Skepticism. Silence. Then, every once in a while, something happens that refuses to fit neatly into any familiar category. Something that is not easily laughed away. Something that does not disappear when examined carefully. Today, we are not going to talk about pop culture investigators, fictional agents, or dramatic television mythology. Instead, we're going to focus on a single case. One case. One documented observation. One report that quietly stood out from the rest. But before we continue, there is something important to mention. Learning, curiosity, and calm exploration should begin early. That is why it is worth recommending a thoughtful educational channel for children and their parents called Hi Kids. It introduces children to English in a calm, respectful, and understandable way. Through simple stories, gentle narration, topics like space, animals, oceans, the earth, and travel. It is content that does not overwhelm. Content you can confidently share with a child. If you are looking for something that helps your child take their first steps in English without pressure or noise, the link is in the description. Now, return to our story. In January of this year, the United States Department of Defense released a detailed report through its All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. At first glance, it seemed like just another technical document. Plain language, structured sections, no dramatic headlines. But specialists noticed something immediately. Something was missing. There was no familiar closing paragraph explaining what the object most likely was. No weather balloon. No drone. No misidentified aircraft. Instead, the document ended with a simple and unusually direct conclusion. The origin of the object could not be determined. That alone was enough to draw attention. The report included pilot testimony, data, naval ship radars, readings from airborne radar systems, infrared sensor recordings, and yet, no explanation. So, who saw what? And why does this case remain unresolved? Let us examine it carefully. The incident occurred during routine night flights conducted by United States Navy carrier-based aircraft. There were no special exercises, no experimental trials, no classified testing operations scheduled in the area. The aircraft were launched from the aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt. This detail matters. A carrier strike group represents one of the most advanced surveillance environments on the planet. Multiple radar systems, airborne and ship-based, infrared sensors, visual confirmation by trained pilots, redundancy built in every layer. When something appears there, it is rarely invisible to everything at once. The initial detection was not alarming. A target appeared on radar at approximately 9 kilometers altitude. This is common flight level. The speed, unremarkable. The lack of identification signals over open ocean is not unusual. At first, everything looked ordinary. Then, ordinary. Almost immediately, the object began behaving in ways that did not match known patterns. It was detected simultaneously by multiple systems. Radar, infrared cameras saw it. Pilots observed it directly with their own eyes. This convergence of independent data sources became the foundation of the entire case. According to the pilots, the object appeared as a luminous shape. No wings, tail, no visible control surfaces, no exhaust, no plume, no visible propulsion. It did not resemble any aircraft, helicopter, missile, or known drone. It did not behave like a balloon. And it certainly did not behave like anything festive flying through the night sky. Then came the moment that defined the report. Carrier Group radar recorded an abrupt change in altitude. The object, which had been at approximately 9 kilometers, appeared almost instantly near the ocean surface. The time interval was less than 1 second. From a physics perspective, this implies a vertical movement of roughly 9 kilometers per second. That is tens of thousands kilometers per hour. This is not simply fast. This is beyond the structural limits of any known material system. For a human body, such motion is not survivable, not because of pain, not because of fear, but because the concept of bodily integrity ceases to apply. There is no time for awareness, no moment of sensation. The transition from existence to non-existence would occur before the nervous system could react. Even the most advanced aircraft on Earth cannot perform such a maneuver, not without extreme acceleration, not without a visible trajectory, not without detectable forces. Yet radar data showed no smooth descent, no acceleration curve, no transitional path. The track remained stable. Only the position changed. One pilot described it simply. The object was not moving. It was appearing somewhere else. This description was included in the official report without modification. Explained. It's recorded. Infrared data deepened the mystery. Infrared sensors detect heat. Any propulsion system produces thermal signatures. Jet engines, kit exhaust, electrical systems all leave traces. In this case, no intense heat source consistent with known propulsion was observed. The object was visible in infrared, but not as a conventional hot target. And at the moment of the altitude shift, there was no thermal spike, no burst, no pulse. Nothing would indicate acceleration. As the object approached the ocean surface, another anomaly appeared. There was splash, steam cloud, no thermal interaction with the water. Even falling debris creates visible effects. This did not. Context analysis followed. No exercises were underway. No experimental systems were authorized. The airspace had not been restricted beforehand. Warnings to civilian and military aircraft were issued only after the incident, not before. Further credibility came from reports by commercial pilots operating in the same general region. They reported glowing objects to air traffic control. Their accounts varied in detail, but they agreed on key characteristics. Independent, unsynchronized, reported channels. This significantly reduced the likelihood of collective error. Analysts then began eliminating explanations. The drone hypothesis came first. Modern drones explain many strange sightings, but this case resisted that explanation. No drone can change altitude by kilometers instantly. No drone can do so without heat. No drone operates freely near a carrier group without authorization. Atmospheric phenomena were considered next. Plasma effects, reflections, temperature. But atmospheric effects do not produce stable objects detected simultaneously by radar, infrared, and human vision over time. Sensor malfunction was examined. Any single system can fail, but multiple independent systems failing in coordinated agreement is statistically implausible. Secret technology was considered and cautiously set aside. Testing experimental systems near active carrier groups without notice is unsafe and contrary to protocol. Even classified systems obey physical laws. They leave traces. None were found. The report ended where the data ended. Not speculation, not reassurance, but uncertainty. This matters, because uncertainty is rare in official military documents. This case is important not because it proves anything extraordinary, but because it demonstrates how modern detection systems now reveal phenomena that cannot be easily dismissed. The report does not suggest a threat. It does not imply hostile intent. It does not demand immediate action. It simply acknowledges that something was observed, and that it does not fit existing categories. This is not sensational. It is subtle. And it is precisely in such quiet admissions that our understanding expands. Not when answers are convenient, but questions remain open. Here. Because what this represents is not an isolated anomaly. It is a sign that our instruments are now capable of detecting things our theories have not yet caught up with. And that gap is where the most interesting discoveries tend to begin.